Are we live?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Another episode of Short Back and Sides. You know who I be, Millionaire Mike. And today we have an exciting show for all of you. First and foremost, let me welcome you all to the show today. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be with us, so we appreciate that. Now, to my left, please introduce yourself.
I'll go first.
That'll be you,
Pleasure
Pleasure
Pete.
Pete.
That'd be me. Pleasure Pete to the left.
To my left, anyway.
I'll jump in next. Good evening. It's your boy, Mr. Blake, in the place.
And Trife.
Seems to be having some technical. Slight technical difficulties, guys. Whilst our guest reconnects, please remember this is a live show, so keep all your comments respectful. You're welcome to ask any questions. If we have the time to interact with those questions, we certainly will pose the questions to our guests. Bear with us just a moment. These things happen, man. This is live YouTube, man. These things happen. You get me? So it's all gravy. Hope you guys are doing well.
All good, all good.
Oh, hold on. Okay, so listen, introduce yourself.
Good evening, guys. My name is Yoyo.
Hello, Yoyo.
Hey, Yoyo.
How's it
And
going?
I'll answer to your questions tonight.
Yes. So, Yoyo, I'm going to put it over to Blakey, but thanks for coming on the show, mate.
You're welcome anytime.
So I want to put the caveat tonight because we're having a big people conversation and it's about a controversial topic. So I'm gonna put this out. There ain't gonna be no why, no lava splash, no pause, no homo, none of that today. We're having a big people grown conversation. And essentially the context of our conversation tonight is about undercover brothers. We are talking about the guys who on paper have got the partners, kids, family set up, pose as heterosexual males, but are seeing men on the down low. And we're going to discuss what that looks like, how it comes across, things that come up from being on the down low, and things about this trend, this scene, this lifestyle that a lot of men that are privy to. Some of us might be friends that are in this lifestyle. Some of them might be family members. But I think tonight we're going to get a great insight into what the DL scene looks like for a lot of men out there, black, white, Asian, all sorts. So I'm going to ask Yoyo, I'm assuming LB's back. He's coming. But Yoyo and LB, I'll come to both of you. Is it all right to assume that you lot are both openly gay men?
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess my question to the both of you is, what is it been? Yeah, we can hear you. Good. What is it been like for you as openly gay men who have interacted with men that are functioning on the down low? What does that look like? How does it come across?
Let me take this one before my thing glitches out, because I think it's going to glitch out any minute. But my experience of being an out guy, engaging with guys that are on the DL, for the most part, it's a negative experience because there's always that, I'd say, a sense of entitlement that comes along with being a DL guy. I think because of the fact that they keep themselves on the inside, they expect everybody to adhere to their expectations and so on and so forth. Even when coming down to like hooking up with them, like an average dude, if you're on Grindr, he'll send you a picture, full picture with the face, the body, this, that, and the other. But if it's a DL guy, it will tend to be some blurred, out of focus picture of the elbow, and then they'll expect you to still come around and meet them, etc., as well.
And Yoyo, has that been the instance for you as well, what LB's described?
Most of the time, yes. They are quite stressed and worry about who will find about them and so on. Even if you promise them that it's everything quite okay and safe and no cameras, no neighbors, no flatmates and so on. But depends from person to person. Some of them they can be stressed, some of them can be just nervous, and they like quick stuff in general. If they are quite they know what they want, then yeah, they are at the door in 5 minutes, and that's it.
Okay, thanks for that. P, I see you put your hand up, man. Jump in.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I was looking at some statistics around in preparation for this, and one of the bits that came back is to say that those who are concealing their sexual identity experience high rates of basically depression and psychological issues. So I guess, Yo-Yo, if I can ask you a question, I guess you talked about anxiety. Do you have any sort of feeling as to where that anxiety might come from? So, for example, is it around the fact that they're in the situation they're in, coming to meet you, or do you think it could be something outside within their sort of normal everyday life?
Sometimes it's because they meet me, sometimes because of the religion, sometimes because of the family. Doesn't matter the religion, but just because they know they have a child and a woman at home. There are literally various reasons for them. The main thing is they suppress their own reality, and they don't recognize in front of themselves who they are and what they like and how they like to live and so on.
Okay, thanks for answering that question.
So, Yo, I've got a question to ask you. So, you know, when these encounters take place on Grindr, I presume, or any of these equivalent apps, can you tell when it's a down low man, or do they tell you before they meet you that, look, I've got a situation and I don't want the situation and I want to keep that situation secret? Are they quite open about their conditions, or do you tend to find out after an encounter's taking place?
Most of them they have in the profile, literally on the Grindr profile or whatever website they are, they have DL in the title, so you know from that moment exactly what is the case. Some of them they literally they don't write nothing, and you need to ask and insist and so on, so you can realize who you're talking with.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them they approach you directly and they say, look, I'm discreet, I don't want to just. So yeah, depends again of person to person how strong and liable he is.
Right. So Yo-Yo, so the term down low is actually a thing, yeah? It's a term to describe someone
DL,
that
yeah,
is not openly gay. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Interesting. And I want to touch on what you said earlier. You said there's a lot of guys that are of a religious persuasion that want to hide who they are. I mean, what are you talking about in terms of religion? Like Muslims, Christians, Hindus, a mixed bag?
Of course, I will not ask what religion they are,
Yeah.
but by presumptions, mostly Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a case where he was insisting to see me, to meet me, and okay, we met. We had fun, and after we had fun, literally, the guy gone sick and gone to the bathroom to throw up, and I got scared.
Oh,
Didn't realize what's happening. Then he told me to let him alone, and after that I understand that actually this is his reaction after he had sex with a man, because he's trying to somehow to repress or to clean himself because it was a sin or something like this, whatever it was in his mind or his religion was telling him.
right. Okay. So what you're describing here is an individual that's engaged in same-sex relationship or same-sex activity rather,
Yeah.
and then as soon as dare I say post-nut clarity kicks in, he suddenly decides to. He realizes what he's done, and I think perhaps his religious convictions essentially are contradicting with his sexual desires. Is it what you're saying, effectively?
Yes.
Okay. And how often does this happen? Is this something that happens regularly, or
No, it happened twice, but with the same guy, because a couple of months later he come back and I realized.
right? Okay. Right,
But-
right. Interesting. That's very interesting indeed. And I think he touches on what Mr. Blake touched earlier on men who hide the identity. And that leads to the depression and anxiety that was mentioned at the start of our segment. With regards to the general the general environment that these encounters take place, have you ever found yourself in any danger, in any sort of, in a difficult situation? Because you in this instance, you had a guy who basically decided to throw up and and almost purge himself. But have you ever had people being violently, respond to you after an encounter with them?
No, I didn't. I will meet only at my house.
Okay.
So, normally with DL, you don't travel. They will come to you because they don't like to find where they live or whatever. But in general, I meet people at my house, and I am taking all the precautions. Like I'm not leaving stuff around, money, wallets, or whatever. I'm trying the room to be as clear as possible. But doesn't matter who is coming, because it's a person that you don't know. You never met it, and you don't know from where to take it. So you need to take your own precautions. But also, in case of this could happen, I'm pretty sure I can defend myself and
Okay.
smash some.
Mike, can I just quickly jump in? Because
Yeah, go on.
I remember when we spoke to Yoyo and LB previously, and Yoyo told us about this particular experience. There was a term that LB used, which was gay panic. And Yoyo's obviously described that, and I can only just think if someone is going into that kind of mode, that's a form of trauma, because what I'm taking from that is you're leading a double life essentially, like as LB said, like Batman. There's one part of you that's Bruce Wayne, i.e. the straight man, and then there's one part of you that's gay in the form of Batman, and I guess as well it's a kind of code switching. So I guess, as you say, when you have that post-nut clarity and things come to the surface, I'm sure for a lot of them they can't handle it. What do you reckon, lads?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, that's definitely the case. Do you mind if I quickly ask a question?
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it, man.
So, Yo-Yo, what would you say is the percentage of kind of like heterosexual guys on these gay apps? Would you say it's a high percentage?
Quite high.
Or quite high?
Yes. If you ask me, from my opinion, the human being in general, I think it's bisexual.
Okay.
So from that point, everybody go up and down, depends how they feel or whatever that. I'm pretty sure and 100% that everybody has a small dream or imagination with I don't know, two lesbians kissing or two boys kissing or whatever. Any jest or something like this between two persons from the same sex. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The question I want to ask you, a bit similar to what Trife just asked you, is out of those meets, because obviously a lot of our discussions, cater towards the Afro-Caribbean community. How many of these men are black men or Asian men?
95%.
95.
Yes.
Wow.
Mostly because the Black community and the Asian community, most of them, they hide about the families and they live double lives.
Mm.
The white community, they're more open, more relaxed with the families, or they run from home or whatever. I don't know. I can relate with the Black and Asian community because I'm East European and I know we have the same meaning of the family and living together, going Sundays to dinners and so on, and keeping contact until late, so on. So, and I've been trying to keep hiding from my mother for many years until
Right.
my crazy mother started following me on the street, so she find about me.
Mm.
Kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really hard, and definitely they live a double life, and mental health. We all have some problems, if you ask me.
Yeah.
So I will not put them in one pot just because of that. But definitely, it is something that they can resolve it by therapy or by discussion with the family and so on.
Okay.
So
So,
literally a discussion with themselves.
so Yo-Yo, from your point of view, you don't have to disclose where you're from, but is it easier for you to live as a gay man in the UK than it is from where you come from because of the very strong community and religious bonds?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The question I have for you is that is it easier for you as a gay man to live in the UK from where you originally come from because of the strong religious and community ties in your country of birth?
Yes, definitely. That's why I moved here.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Literally, not financially, not family, friends, whatever. Literally because of this. Even my
Mm.
friends, they asked me 10 years ago, why you move? Because we have everything here.
Mm.
You can keep your partner hands on the street.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't do that without being scream or beating or whatever. You can
Oh, I
keep
see.
your
Okay.
partner on street. Yes, I can. I can't do that because again, or somebody will scream at me or swear or whatever, beat me or so on. So literally because of that, I moved here to feel
So
free.
yeah. So the threat of violence is greater in your country than it is in the UK.
Not anymore now, but 10 years ago, yes,
Okay.
quite. And the fact, not necessarily violent, because nobody touched me there or beat me or so on, but I had a couple of incidents where they scream and they say ugly stuff and so on.
Mm.
Even the idea that you can't do it because of they will scream and so on,
Mm.
it's I don't feel relaxed and I don't feel comfortable and I don't feel myself
Mm-hmm.
to live there. So then I'll search somewhere where I can feel myself relaxed and so on.
Of course. And are you surprised at the amount of, homosexual Black and Asian men that you've interacted with? Is it something that surprised you, or is it something that you always knew?
I found in the moment I moved here, because where I've been living, there Asian community, we have a little bit, but not so big, and the Black community, it's almost zero.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
This year, actually, I saw more people there, so that was good.
Yeah, Blacks get everywhere, So yeah.
It's good to know.
That's really interesting because from our community, Yo-Yo, we don't know. As far as I'm concerned, in my personal experience, the only gay people that I know are mostly females. You see, so because I think we are more gentle towards the females than we are towards the men. So a lot of the men that
But can I ask you why?
I think it's because my family is sort of Jamaican and Ghanaian, right? So I would say we are religiously, I think we're Christians radicals, I would say. So there's a radicalization within our faith where we look at things very black and white, and the acceptance of homosexuality, not openly anyway. And it's only until now.
Jesus says love everybody without no conditions and so on.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But but there are scriptures in the Bible that I believe are taken quite literally that would explain the behavior, that will shape the behavior of, or certainly the attitudes towards gays and lesbians. But because of that, and because it's been ingrained with, and also there's a lack of open communication. Open communication within our cultures is not something that is generally practiced, so it makes it very difficult for people within our community to be able to express themselves openly, to be accepted openly. I think we would rather accept a man that has several children with different women than we would accept a man that is in a stable same-sex relationship, if that makes sense. So there's always been a bit of a stigma. So because of that, having those conversations is quite eye-opening, because we almost believe it to be taboo and non-existent, because there isn't this representation within our culture. So when you state percentages like 95%, to me that tells me that there's a high number, there's a high degree of men out there who are hiding themselves from themselves effectively, and are not necessarily being open. And I think it's primarily because of our background, Yo-Yo. We're not as forgiving, and we certainly not as understanding as some of our Western counterparts are, which is why I think.
Let's be sorry that I interrupt you. Let's be specified. Is 95% from DL category, not 95% from black community and.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
of
not
course. Yeah, of course. No, I get that. I certainly.
So be sure to clarify that.
Yeah, yes, of course. Thanks for clarifying that. But yeah, I mean that percentage alone, from the DL perspective, tells me that there's quite a lot of men hiding themselves effectively, and that stems from effectively family background, religious backgrounds, etc. So it's interesting to hear your perspective on this, because it means that from as far as I'm concerned, it could be a number of my friends and family members, that are involved in this lifestyle, that are involved in these encounters, that they would be either too afraid to talk about, and are concerned about, I guess, because it's all very community led and community focused, as in our cultures, whether black or Asian, is the fear of being ostracized, is this fear of being alienated, and the average black man in the UK faces a myriad of difficulties already, and the last thing they want is to be essentially excommunicated from their families and having to live a life on their own, which I think is why you've got this high degree of percentage of DL men essentially wanting to express themselves but can't essentially.
So exactly this happened with me, and because I was afraid that my family will found, being also again quite strong religious and being grow like that, I hide this thing from them, but I'm a bad liar, so I couldn't hide it wrong. Especially my mother, she was a crazy one in the sense of loving me too much, and so that's why she started following me on the street to see exactly what's happening with me.
Right.
In the moment when they found my mother, she was okay-ish in the sense of that she was, you are still my son, I still love you, so on. She told my father, and my father didn't spoke with me for 7 years.
Wow.
So my luck in that moment was that I wasn't living with them in the same house. So I left home from when I had 18. I had my own job, my own house, my own. I was sorted. But you need to think about. I was a lucky one. Not everybody can go leave the house at 18 and have a good job and try to find a rent or an apartment and be by himself. And after that, doesn't matter if the parents they found or not. Most of them, they stay with the families until 35, probably even more. The Asians, literally, they buy houses near each other and stay forever.
Yeah.
It's difficult. The pressure is quite high. And I know even in my case I had I will not say too many details, but I know case from Asian community that literally was obliged to have a wedding. They married, they gone in the holiday like after the wedding, and they come back and divorce because she realized she can't do nothing with him. So And she told to the family as well that he is gay, and so big
Wow.
scandal and so on.
Wow.
So imagine the trauma for that guy that didn't have the courage to tell to his family he's gay, by going through that wedding, literally all the process and everything with thousands of guests and so on, and how much they will cost and so on.
Mhm.
In 1 week after that amazing party, everybody found about him is gay and so on. So the trauma is huge.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, from your point of view, Yo-Yo, and tell me if I'm delving too much into your personal life, but how old were you when you developed feelings for men and you realized that you were gay?
I think I had like not feelings, but I like to look from the small child. I was looking to guys and so on, but didn't had a conscience what that means or whatever. It was just an innocent look, let's say. My first contact, no, actually, I've been in love of in high school from one of the colleagues. I never told him.
Mhm.
And my first contact was at 17 and a half with someone older than me. And at that time, because we didn't have the internet, we had the papers with matrimonials announced.
Okay. And was that person a man or female?
A man.
A man. Okay. And have you ever been with girls?
I've been with a single woman twice or 3 times,
Okay.
but just because she insists a lot because she liked me, and so on, so on, so on.
Yeah.
And this was back in my country before I moved here.
Okay. Okay. So you found out pretty earlier on that that you were that way inclined.
Yes, I after that first meeting I knew exactly, and after I had the first contact with that lady, I knew exactly. Yeah, it's not
Oh, okay. So you were able to compare the two experiences,
exactly,
and
but they've been
okay.
a couple of years difference until I had that connection with her.
Okay.
Like 3-4 years until.
Yeah, Mike, I think Pleasure P and Kilo want Mr. Blake want to jump in.
Yeah.
Key, go for it first because you've been waiting for time.
Yeah. Okay. So, Yo-Yo, sorry, I might be going back a bit, but in the conversation we had with you guys pre-recording the show, you and LB basically explained your interactions are very different. So, off my head, LB was more of a dominant interaction, whereas as you wasn't. So, I guess I just wanted to ask the question. Obviously, if it's okay with you.
Yes.
Do you see any difference in the type of men that visit yourself as opposed to LB? And what are those differences? So that's the first part of the question. And then the second part of the question is, what kind of backgrounds are these men that come to see you? So you talked about religion, etc. But I guess in terms of their day-to-day, like what kind of jobs or what kind of scene, etc. are they into, if that's okay?
Jobs, again, I can't say it because they don't talk about. You need to think. So the discussion is going like this: you meet on Grindr, you want to meet, give address, swap some pictures if they have or not. If you are lucky and they send some pictures and they are real pictures, then thanks God. When it's coming out the door, from my own experience, sometimes it happened to be exactly how they say they are, even if they didn't send the photos. Sometimes happen to be totally different person, and then I close the door and send him back. Most of the time, also they prefer like dark room or glory hole, so you don't see that person, basically. And again, they knock on the door, open the door, come in, dark room, resolve the problem, gone. So the discussion about jobs and families and stuff,
Yeah.
Very, very, very rare it's happening. Maybe a guy, if he's come back twice, 3 times, whatever, if it, like maybe then you can find something about him, but not so often. And I don't ask because this is their choice. If they want to say something, they're good to say. Otherwise, I'm good.
Cool. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think for me, a lot of things have been covered in this half an hour, and I'm seeing certain like trends or certain things that are just sticking out, and I wonder if everybody else is picking up on it as well. I think the first thing, and Mike, you kind of alluded to this, when it comes to homosexuality, especially in ethnic communities, there's still a taboo in it when it comes to it. We've seen it with when it comes to those of South Asian descent. If you ever remember the film East is East, the older brother was a fragrant homosexual male, and his dad disowned him, and you know he was exiled. And you know, as Yoyo said, we've seen examples of that happen in the Asian community. I think when we look at Black men as a whole, there's always this need to sort of be hypersexualized, but also as well, what comes with it is, you know, you always have to be strong. You can't be vulnerable, and there's an irony here in the sense of, I feel as a whole there's not enough safe spaces for Black men. So I can't even imagine how Black men who are on the DL feel. And ironically, when they're having those encounters that they're having with gay men, maybe that's the safe space that they've been craving, say to speak. I like to think when we put on our podcast, that this podcast, we like to not only entertain people, but there's an education element, and I wonder, in the sense of, why is it in the UK when it comes to this, it's still kind of hush hush, but like if we look over in the States, let's take Atlanta for example, 50% of the men over in Atlanta when it comes to Black men are gay. So clearly Atlanta are doing something that's making it all right for Black men particularly to come out and be openly gay. That said, and Yoyo, and I want to push this back to you. Do you think when with a lot of these DL guys, there's a power dynamic? And when I say a power dynamic, if we look at certain gay men that we've all come across, for example, the Craze, one of the Craze was openly gay. From the show Oz Adebisi, he was this wham Nigerian guy that just took advantage of certain people in the prison. And even in Northwest London, one of the baddest man in Northwest was Battyman Susie. Don't get at me, people. That's, if you're from Northwest and London, that's what he's known as. And I guess for what I'm trying to ask from you, do you feel that, like, when you've been with DL men, do you see a power struggle when you lot are interacting with each other, say to speak?
Yes. For you to know, the biggest homophobes, they're actually gay. So if you see a person that is really homophobe in a bad and aggressive way, that's definitely it's a gay man. Like, he had some action because he's trying to push it as much as possible to see that is not like that. But by doing that, it's literally, for us at least, or for me, I realized that he had some contacts. So yeah.
So a
Sorry,
lot of
the answer to your question.
So a lot of our viewers on the show today are women, and I'm sure they're going to be thinking, could my man be on the DL? Do you feel there are certain traits or qualities that you are seeing of DL men that you're engaging with? Does there seem to be like a common themes that exist with them, apart from the ones we've already obviously stated today?
They definitely do, even they are bored at home, or they don't feel satisfied, or they feel neglected, because only when something happen in that part, they start trying to find other in another place pleasure and so on. Maybe also they want to be literally open to try experimental stuff, and they realize that the partner they have is not open to do that. Because this is the actually the mistake that the wives doing, that they're not open when the husband come to them to say, look, I would like to try this, or I would like to they say no. Oh, God, no, why? It's forbidden, it's no. Then second time he will not come back to her to say, look, I saw this, I would like to do it, or so on. So he will go to the travesty in the corner and resolve the problem straight away in 5 minutes without stress.
But that's the thing. There's a deceit in that, and that can cause more trauma and even
Indeed.
And disease as well at that.
Indeed.
Mike, I see you put your hand up. Come true, bro.
Yes. So on that note, Yo-Yo, I want to just ask you your honest opinion on this. Do you think that some of these men are hypersexual in the sense that they're sex addicts and they just want to have sex, and it doesn't matter who gives it to them? Or do you think that they need to have a predisposition to homosexuality to engage in any sexual act other than with a female?
Most of us, and when I say us, I refer to men in general, we are hyperactive. So we just need sex.
So these men so in your opinion, you don't think that all these men are gay? You just think that
Not necessarily gay. So again, if they have a wife at home and is coming to me, it's a bisexual. It's not gay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only if it doesn't have a wife home and he stay with his family and is coming to me, then you can call him gay, because he had contact only with men. And indeed, about the sickness, I go and do my checks every 3 months. DLs, they don't do it not even once a year, which is wrong, totally wrong in general for people. They should do it twice a year at least. If they are hyperactive, then definitely at every 3 months.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Maybe because some DL men, Yo-Yo, they don't think of themselves as gay, isn't it? Maybe that's why they feel they don't need to go and get themselves checked.
Yeah, I don't know, but the thing is, they say, oh, well, you are sure, they ask me, you are sure you are clean? Because I don't do this often. And so you don't need to do it often, you need to do it once. And I'm sure that I'm clean because I'm going regular and check myself and so on. But you'd never been there because you don't want to be seen in the queue about your neighbor or whatever that's going on. Even now, they are literally, you can do it by post and so on. So
but I assume, Yo-Yo, without going into too much detail, it's all protected. There's no nobody's throwing dices around and playing with their lives.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
This is the thing. I don't have a problem to do it protected or unprotected because I'm on PrEP and I'm clean and check myself and so on. But they insist actually, and what is annoying for me is they ask me if I have condoms. You are the one that's supposed to, because I don't know what to mention and stuff like this. So you need to buy your own condom, but they don't want even to spend the money on the condom because they will see the wife of the transaction on the card or whatever. So yeah, it's quite funny at a certain point. Most of them, they say, oh no, I will do it only with condom. But when they arrive and they are horny and excited and they see my ass up and down, they forget about condom and so on. So sometimes it's happening also without. Sorry if I'm too.
No. People, the people need to hear these these things and how it goes down. But
if
Mike,
I cross the limit, please let me know.
No, it's okay.
Mike and Yo-Yo, you both made interesting points in the sense of, Mike, you said men that are engaging in this are gay, and Yo-Yo, you said that they're bisexual. So I think one thing that came to mind when I heard that interaction between the two of you is, are some of these DL men, when they're engaging, for example, with yourself, Yo-Yo, are they asking you to take on the role of a female, i.e. dress up or make it a thing where they're the dominant one? Or
Yes.
is it just purely transactional in that regards?
No. Most of the time, they ask me to be dressed, and I can send you some photos.
I see. Okay.
That's interesting. That's interesting because I don't know about you, P, Trife, and Mike, but just hearing of the whole dress up thing, it reminds me of Oz and Adebisi.
Yeah, Adebisi
Yeah,
crap.
yeah.
Because Adebisi always used to do that, and then it just makes me, and it goes back to something that you said, Yoyo, in a sense of clearly there's something missing in their relationships with their partners and their families if they're resorting to kind of get a closeness to that, if that makes sense, guys.
Yeah, no, it does, definitely.
Yeah, but imagine a wife, Mario, in a family, when the wife has 2 kids after her and job and so on, and God knows, she stop, I don't know, shaving her or buying new underwear or buying. It's normal. Like I'm not judging, and God knows, it's normal. And then probably the man doesn't feel attractive or passionate or feel neglected and so on. So yeah, some of them they actually they brought the underwear from the wife for me to have it. So
Wow.
Wow.
That's wild.
again, sorry for details.
No,
Wouldn't
know
all
this.
good.
Nah, that's the short right there.
So, Yo-Yo, I got a question for you. So, do you always play a passive role, or are you active as well?
I'm a versatile 100%. But depends. Like in general, if I like to be bottom, I like muscle big guys bigger than me that can dominate me and so on. If I am a top, then I like small twinks that I can dominate them. I've been like my body been like a regular slim fit guy.
Right.
For
Okay.
you to understand.
Okay.
So I can do both with no problem. But depends on the situation. In the case with the DL in general, I'm bottom.
Yeah.
I want to flip the script, if I may, lads. So let's paint a certain scenario. So you're a woman, you've got your husband or your long-term partner, you've got 2 kids, you've got a happy family, and you discover that your partner of X amount of years is a DL man and is sleeping with another man. What are we thinking that woman is feeling? Is it the deceit? Is it the betrayal? Or is it because it's hitting harder that her man is sleeping with another man as opposed to another woman?
I think it would probably be I think deceit, definitely, but the fact that they're sleeping with another man, I think that will probably get most females.
P, Mike, Yo-Yo, thoughts?
Sometimes they feel guilty again because they neglected and so on. Sometimes they feel angry because sometimes they feel useless because they can't fight with a man. If it was another woman, she knew what to do and fight with another woman. But if it's another man, she literally can't. She doesn't know what to do. So yeah, depends again from woman to woman, situation to situation, and family to family.
P and Mike, I see you both nodding and contemplating. What are your thoughts?
I think, Pete, if you don't mind me going first, the initial betrayal, I think, will cut them deep in the first instance. And then when they ask you who is it or who was it with, and if they found out that the other individual was someone of the same sex, it may potentially cause great insecurities in them. Do you know what I mean? Because a woman often feels that she can satisfy a man better than any other man could, and if a man decides to cheat on his partner with a man, then I guess it makes it even more difficult for the woman even to reconcile herself with this chap. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you put another woman, sometimes you find that a woman can be more forgiving of the act, especially if the woman is either better looking or younger or fitter than herself. Because as Yoyo alluded to, when women are involved in relationships for a long period of time, sometimes they let things go. You know, they're not as passionate sexually, they're not as adventurous sexually. And as we both discussed, and we will discuss it tonight, is that men are hypersexual beings. So, you know, the degree of satisfaction that a man requires a lot of physical rigor, you know, and some women are just not up to that level physically or even sexually. So I think, yeah.
So Danger, I'm pretty sure the women are the same active as well. Well, maybe even more active than us, but because they have kids and family and other stuff to resolve, and the husband doesn't help too much in that family, then her energy is going that way. So of course she doesn't have energy for sex and so on.
Mm.
I don't want to go wrong here with the ladies because they will kill me. So-
No, yeah. No, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
you're right. You're absolutely right, Yo-Yo. You're absolutely right. It's the men's fault. So, you know.
Hold that thought, Mike P. I see you because I saw you like processing, so I'm intrigued to hear
Yeah,
your point of view.
I mean, Yo-Yo is kind of like giving me a whole different perspective on a lot of things tonight. And one of the things, I guess, when you asked that question, I was thinking straight away, the immediate reaction of a woman will be, "Oh, my husband's gay," or something like that. But actually, it's the how do you move forward from that? Because to Yo-Yo's point, the challenge back about actually he's not gay, he's bisexual. It's what then does moving forward look like? So I agree with everything you guys have said, but I think it will be the difficulty of trying to navigate that and what is suppressed moving forward. For example, if that individual has gone down a certain path and done that, you can't, you know, the suppression wasn't strong enough beforehand. What happens after and things like that? So I think that would be one of the big things as well. On top of what Mike said, I agree with some of the stuff that Mike was saying. And then there's always going to be that piece, right? About whether it was a man or a woman that is involved, that, well, how can I satisfy my man, or what does the future look like, etc. So yeah. But I just want to say I've really learned a lot tonight so far.
Same,
so that's there's a lot of considerations that I didn't have. The biggest one, obviously, like I say, that gay or bisexual, it's like, you know, there's a lot of interactions that people have where people make the flippant comment, but actually it's probably not correct. But yeah.
So let me ask, if I'm going to make a flippant comment, and it's something that I've heard, and I'm intrigued to hear everyone's view on this. So we're saying, some of us are saying DL men are gay, and some of us are saying that DL men are bisexual. Yeah. So a thing that I've always heard, and again, push back, tell me your thoughts. Bisexual people are greedy. True or false?
True.
Why true, Trife?
Because why not just go down one route, one path? Why have both kind of thing? Can't you just pick a side, basically? Pick a team.
Why you need to pick a side?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yo, go on, elaborate about your point there about why
you need to pick a side. Why you don't have both of the sides? Why you can have all of them? I don't know. Why we limitate ourselves in general?
Someone's going to get hurt at the end of the day, aren't they?
No, it's true. It's true.
I think what Yo-Yo is trying to say, right? If we're saying that there's something internally that makes someone attracted to a person, if you remove men and women as a title and just say a person, technically you could be attracted to anybody, whether that's through personality, emotions, physical, whatever. There's a number of different things that we as individuals, all of us, will look for in a person, right? By design, I don't know. If you listen to what Yo-Yo said, he left his country to come here because he could be openly the person that he wanted to be, right? And Yo-Yo obviously cut me off at any point, but you can't. I guess there's a thing. I mean, I'm just listening to what Yo-Yo has said. Like I said, it's changed my perspective. If you're attracted to a person, or you see something, or you resonate with something, then you pursue it. It's like anything, right? Like our careers or whatever. We didn't all set off to do the careers that we wanted to do, right? I don't know. I didn't anyway. But you go down a path, you take the options available to you. I don't think it's greedy. I think there's a thing about, if you see something it sounds like I'm referring to it as an object or something. But if you're resonating with someone or something like that, because likewise, if you're in a relationship and you go with multiple women, that's is that not greedy as well? Are we just categorizing it because of the sex of the person, or is it actually the concept of the person and going for another person? That's kind of like I'm not.
I
You see
think
what I'm
you're
saying?
right, kind of thing. But my point was more like if you're gonna be gay openly. If you're gonna be whatever you are, be your sexuality. That makes sense.
Right. Okay.
I think I want to touch on what P just said. I think that to me it's twofold. Is if you're going to be on a down low, then to me that's an element of lack of self-control. Because if you're supposed to be in a monogamous relationship, then you need to basically be in a monogamous relationship, irrespective of how you feel. Because you could be with a partner that you like for say 20 years and like someone else, but because you're in a committed relationship, your feelings don't matter anymore. It's the principle of the commitment that matters. So that supersedes how you feel, right? So that's the sacrifice you make. So there's that element. But again, if you're going to be, a guy or, that's interested in smashing anything that moves, then that's greedy because, you're just literally going left, right, everywhere you want. Do you know what I mean? So there is an element of greed, really. And I think primarily is that sexual satisfaction that some men are chasing. Like I say, it doesn't really matter where it comes from because we discussed tonight that men are generally hypersexual anyway. So whoever's able to satisfy that need at that moment, irrespective of whether it's a man or a woman, wins. They win the game, really.
That's greed, yeah.
And that's greedy, I'll find anyway, personally.
P, what
What
you
about
thinking?
yourself?
I think it's deceiving is not greedy. It's deceiving because he's lying his wife or his partner. He's lying himself, his family. So yeah, I think it's more deceiving than greedy. He need to resolve first this problem with himself to recognize himself and so on. And after that, if it's greedy or not, doesn't matter. But first is deceiving and lying everybody, which is
P,
What
I
about
find
yourself,
wrong
Blake?
here.
What about yourself, Mr. Blake?
do you know what? Yeah, I think, and I guess I think the point I was gonna make next is, I think, and P touched on it in a sense of we've made a differentiation on the whole infidelity thing because of someone being homosexual or someone being heterosexual. But it's just made me think, like, we always talk about kindness. Do we need to give more grace to guys that are on the D-Lo? In the sense of,
I have a
go
question.
on.
Sorry, because the term DL until the other night with Yoyo and LB, to me it meant just keeping it on the DL. We're keeping it on the download. That's literally was my reference point until this. So the question I had, and this is an education moment for me. DL, are we only using it in the reference for men who are seeing other men in deceit? Because if that's the case, then okay. But if not, if it's widespread, then
It can be also a woman that has a husband and can see another woman.
Yeah. So that's when you but then when you take it back,
same situation.
Correct. He's correct, and that's what I'm saying. That's when you take it back, we're using the term like some of the terms we've been using in the context. Is for the purpose of we're saying gay, etc. But there's a wider piece. So when you take it back and you take it wider, it doesn't discriminate. So when you ask that question about men,
I disagree, and I'll tell you why I disagree. Can you tell me a DL woman you've come across? Because what I see is I feel it's more acceptable for two women to be together as opposed to two men being together.
But
and that's why and go on.
But I was gonna say that's the context that we're using for this conversation. But if you take it wider, there are DL women who are having relationships without their partners knowing of other women.
Okay, so then let me push back then, gents. Like, so if we found out that our women, our long-term partner, our wife, the mother of our kids, was sexing out a next woman over us, are we gonna feel the same sort of feeling if it was the other way around? I.e., are we gonna feel that deceit, or is it gonna be a case where
Yeah.
our ego's bruised? Yeah.
I think
Probably you
so,
will
yeah.
say, baby, bring it home. Because I know you guys how you are. So
Yeah,
I would
and
say
this
if
way
it was
for you, it's
if it-
okay. Like two girls to be together and two men not.
I would say if it was like if it was just like a casual girlfriend, then yeah, bring it on, innit? One of them ones. But if it was someone in a serious relationship, then I think I would feel the same way, definitely. As a woman,
I mean, but let's be honest, man. If your girl was cheated with another girl, you'd be vexed.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because it's a case of you got yourself an whole other person. Because I think that we got to look at it in different ways. You can categorize it as I'm being cheated on with another person, whether they're male or female. It doesn't really matter. It's a fact that deception's taking place, and someone is taking time away from your significant other. Someone is pleasing your significant other. Someone is sexing your significant other. So that itself will cause some emotion and some anxiety. Then after you break it down, you say, okay, who is that person? That person happens to be a woman. As a guy, especially if you consider yourself well endowed and everything else, and you got a chick that's got no dick that is sexing down your woman, you're like, what am I doing wrong? My tongue game must be off. It must be terrible. Or, do you know what I mean? There's all these insecurities will come in. I wouldn't automatically say bring her home. I'll be like, raw, I must be shit in bed.
No.
I
totally get that one.
I disagree, because I feel like when men step out, we step out more from an ego perspective, whereas when a woman steps out, it's for emotional connection. So I think if my woman was to step out with me, another woman, I'm thinking, boy, I haven't given you that emotional connection that you've been craving and what you need.
I
That's how I'm
disagree,
saying.
because I think because females also like to be pleased sexually, and she could be with another woman on a basis that woman licks her up better than you. So that could be the reason why this woman is cheating on you. Just like, and I'm using this angle because I'm going back to what Yoyo's been sharing with us this evening. There might be things that Yoyo is probably better at doing than these other men and their female partners, and that's why he keeps on getting these men coming back. Because not only is it about the allure of doing something scary and deceitful, it's the fact that there is actually a talent there that I'm not getting at home. So. Do you know what I'm saying? And Yo-Yo, I mean no disrespect, Yo-Yo. I'm just
No disrespect. I know men suck better than the woman. So
yeah. So I'm talking candidly here, and I think it's the same thing for some females. If a woman, if a stud is better at going down on a woman than I am, then something I've got to accept the fact that I'm not as prolific in that area. That which has led to my woman going somewhere else. So it's not always I think females are just as capable of doing the same things we do. We just don't think they're capable of doing it because they don't admit it readily the way we do. But believe you me,
No. I know this.
Better at covering it.
Yoyo's got his hand up. Yeah, sorry.
His hand up, yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask you guys if you want me to share some comments on my profile to see what people they say.
Yeah.
With me.
I'm just gonna do a quick check. Yo-Yo, are you okay for time? Because we're at 10 o'clock. Are you okay to stay on for a bit?
Okay, yeah, I'm okay for time.
Yep.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay. Let me see how I do this now. Can I send it actually to you on WhatsApp, and you can? I think it's better like this because I'm.
That's fine. That's fine.
So, Yo-Yo, how do you describe yourself on Grindr? Do you describe yourself as fun, outgoing? What's your profile like?
Uncomplicated, good fun.
Sorry, that tickled me. I was gonna say as well, like, obviously, Yo-Yo, do you have any questions for us? Is there any questions you'd like to ask? Either the whole group or any of us.
Not necessarily. I'm actually really, really happy that you guys, like straight men, you've been up for this to found more information and find more details about what's happening there and about your friends, maybe, or whatever, So uh, I'm should happen more this kind of interaction between, let's say, communities.
Mm.
No, you're right.
Because
But
definitely we need to learn one from each other stuff. So as much as we are open for discussions, I'm pretty sure the ladies, they took quite a few notes tonight. So if
of
not,
course.
they can write me in person.
But don't get it twisted, Yo-Yo. We've had backlash and had people say, "Why are you doing this?" Da, 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 da.
I
And I think
appreciate it.
and I think what I would say about us with this as a collective for this podcast is, we like to have conversations that others are not, and I think one of the reasons we like to have them conversations is because we are grown, we are mature. When I started this podcast this evening, I said, look, you ain't going to be hearing no lava splash, why pause. Like, this is a big people conversation, growing conversation. We want to enlighten people, want to educate people, show people different perspectives that you're not seeing on a regular basis. And again, this can't happen without you and LB. So again, thank you for being so open with us and our audience as well tonight.
You're welcome, guys. I'm literally happy to do this again from teaching perspective and from sharing my knowledge with you and with anybody up to learn.
Yo, you just remind me of something. So when we spoke to you and LB earlier on in the week, I remember LB saying how you've got gay men and they've got a gay community, and it seems like the DL community has their own community and they're separate. Can you shed any more sort of light on that at all, please?
In general, when you speak about DL, there are bisexual men that have families, and even if they are not married, they still live with the family, so they don't want to find the family to find about them and so on. So yeah, there are two separate categories because they are gay open in general, like me. I'm not showing my face tonight because ladies, don't kill me, please. I don't want. I have a husband. I don't want none of your husbands. So yeah, and the gays, they are quite open, and they go to bars and they put the pictures on profiles and so on. So that's the way. Here is the difference, basically.
I was just gonna ask
So,
before.
yeah,
Go on.
yeah, Yo-Yo. Obviously, I've got your messages, and do you want us to read them out that you
You
sent?
can, if it's okay for you, you can. Yeah, for me, it's okay.
P, do you wanna?
You want me
go?
to? Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So obviously, Kieran. Okay. I won't read the profile names, obviously.
Please don't.
So yeah. No, I'll just read the actual comments. And this is what is written here. So just yeah, because in case some people
they're like verifications. You can do on that website. You can do verification after you met the person to say something about that person or whatever. So
okay, so yeah, I can see that on the top of the.
Exactly.
Okay, so met this slut last week and wow, absolutely incredible. Fuck sucks like a professional, but that ass is smooth and juicy. Can take a real hard long fuck, proper genuine, and get straight to business. Walked in finding this cum dump face down. It's only your loss, trust me. That was one. Second one, no fuss, big ass up and waiting. I think I've added the word at and there. Totally discreet, very accommodating. Don't skip out on the chance to meet. Wow, amazing fun. One of the best sexy bum I have seen on the site. Lovely person and friendly. I hope we meet again. There's more, or should I just pause there? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But, yeah, sounds like you got 5-star Amazon Prime there, mate.
The Trustpilot reviews are going through the roof, mate.
People really like you, mate.
Sorry, guys.
No, that's fine. I was going to ask one thing, Yoyo. Obviously, you talked about the platform, etc., and I know you've touched on having the opportunity to speak to us on that. And I think I speak for all of us. We're really appreciative of your time, etc.
Yes.
I guess, is there anything you would like to sort of share with the viewers, or anything you'd like to share that you haven't had the chance to, or anything that is outside of any of the topics that we've kind of covered off ourselves tonight?
Yeah, I have some. First of all, please go and do regular checks. Please, I'm begging you. It's free. You can do it by post. You can do appointment, whatever. Go and do it at least 2 times a year if you have sex outside of the marriage, especially. Second, try to discuss as much as possible with your partner, whatever, woman, man, what it is. Try to be open. Try to be and see why he likes or why doesn't like the stuff that you like. If you didn't discover all this before you took the decision to be together, it's quite difficult now being married and having kids to do all this. So that's the way. It's better to be a slut before marriage, and after that to find your own connections to be on the same time frame, you know. So just be open. And even if you find about your partner that's done that, I will not say go radical and say, oh, I will divorce you and so on. Try to understand why you've done that. Try to see what's wrong there, because the truth is in the middle, always. So if everybody goes 50-50, you will find the answer.
Very wise words there, Yoyo. Very wise.
This is my. Otherwise, I will print a book hopefully next year, so you will read a book.
We want signed copies.
If you come to the presentation, yes.
Yoyo, before you go, would you ever get married to LB?
Only if he has me. I told him, always ask him.
Okay, interesting.
Because I had before him, I had a boyfriend, and I asked him, and the motherfucker tried to kill me. So no.
Oh.
Yeah. Is domestic violence also in the gay community, not only in the, and it's quite bad.
Is it rife?
Sorry?
Is it rife? Does it happen a lot?
Yes, there are loads of cases.
Oh dear.
Loads. I know literally a person that brought his husband from Mexico. They've been together for 10 years and he kicked him out of the house now. Not even bought him a plane ticket to send him back, literally.
Wow.
So there are cases and cases like you never know, literally.
No, they're doing it in Coronation Street at the moment with Todd and his partner. He's been abusing him to the point now Todd's had to put up secret cameras, which he's now going to take to the police to use as evidence. And I think it's always interesting when soaps bring certain storylines of a true nature to the cameras.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
Okay. Well, Trife, do you have any more questions?
No, none from me.
Pleasure, Pete?
No, none from me. Just thank you.
We can make another session, guys, if you have.
Yeah, no, I think we do.
Yeah.
We do need to do a part 2. If
And we need to get LB on the show next time, because I know, we know he was he had prior engagements, and he did make a small cameo appearance. But Yoyo, from all of us here at the Short Back and Side Show, we would like to thank you for being so gracious and so kind to spare an hour with us.
You're welcome. Anytime.
We hope that you found the show enlightening. It was a great conversation, by the way, Yoyo. You were very candid, very open, and you've certainly opened our minds a lot, you know, and we've learned so much from you tonight. So thank you so much for your time. As you suggest, we'll probably arrange another show with you and LB sometime in the new year. And we can have, you know, a more structured show where we can discuss, you know, some of the nuances and intricacies on what we've discussed. And hopefully we can ask us to the audience to send any questions that you'll be willing to ask. But on that basis, I'd like to thank all of our audience, all of our subscribers, all those who love us and follow us. Please carry on supporting the show. We are very close to 1,000 subscribers, so we are very pleased for the support that we're getting. Yeah, you know, we are moving forward, so we're
2,000
really
actually.
pleased.
Yeah, we're near to 3,000 actually.
Near to 3,000. Yeah.
Is it near 3,000? Oh wow!
Yeah,
You know,
3,000.
look at me, mate. Yes,
Now you,
we are. This
you
is how
have
good we
That
are.
man there.
Yeah.
now you have the gay community.
There you go. Yeah. We don't,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
anyone
Don't
anyone
discriminate.
that supports
Anyone's welcome.
supports conversation. That's what we're about. You know, we're about growing our communities by having conversations like these and create a much better understanding amongst human beings because we're all part of the same human family. Gents, where can people find us?
YouTube, Instagram.
Grinder.
Well, if you want Yoyo, you can post your Grindr profile. We don't mind putting it in the
No,
description.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
You know, after those reviews, mate, you'll have a
I
flood
have
of
a full
inbox
agenda.
requests.
It's okay.
Great stuff. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for
It was nice,
sharing
guys.
your time with us. All the best,
Thank you.
Yo-Yo. All the
Take
best.
care.
to you.
Thanks, Yo-Yo. Take care.
man.
Take care.
Peace.
Bye.
Cheers.